side? Is your side hitting that bracket?
Hey, John, I need you to boom down just a little bit.
When the gleaming Zephyr eased into the ground at the Museum of Science and Industry in Chicago, it marked the end of a very long ride.
Okay. Whoa, whoa. That's good. That's it, she settled. Yeah. She went in.
The Zephyr was built in 1934 as America struggled to shake off the Great Depression. Its style and speed marked a new era in trains and rail travel. The eyes of the nation were turned toward the sleek machine. Everyone longed for a ride. Some got their wish.
I enjoyed every moment of it, and it was just like probably somebody riding in a space capsule now.
History was in the making when Ralph Budd, president of the Chicago, Burlington, and Quincy Railroad, and Rufus Dawes, head of the Chicago World's Fair, made a friendly wager. Could the Zephyr break the world's record for the fastest and longest nonstop railroad journey? The Burlington Zephyr would race from Denver to Chicago, 1,015 miles. She reached speeds topping a breathtaking 112 miles per hour. The Zephyr made the run in 13 hours, 5 minutes, cutting the time in half, shattering the old record. In the 1950s, money was running short for the railroads. In 1960, the Zephyr made its final run to Chicago to be put on display at the Museum of Science and Industry. There it sat for more than 30 years, outside in Chicago's unkind climate. In 1994, the Zephyr was taken to Northern Rail Car in Milwaukee, Wisconsin for an overhaul. The years had taken their toll on the once proud Zephyr. There was rust where once the steel gleamed, peeling paint where artists had left their delicate strokes. Over the next 3 years, each piece is removed, cataloged, and redone. Whole chunks of the train are taken apart and rebuilt.
This panel would be the lounge ceiling, 20 feet from the end of the car, and it's a 94-piece number. I don't know what these panels are. We'll have to take a look at those, but the original steel moldings or whatever are still here. That's the best part. I'll have to see what's up above here still.
The train is being restored in and out, inside to what it looked like in 1934, outside to its 1940 look.
The reason we chose that year is a rather interesting story. The train had actually set a world speed record back in '34 when it had first been introduced. But just 6 years later, it endured a massive crash into a freight train that almost wrecked the engine. And if we had tried to restore the train back to previous to 1940, the amount of work that we would have had to do in the engine would have been extraordinary. So 1940 is a good period.
He stopped yesterday for a while, but he asked me like...
During the restoration, the craftsmen are very aware this is not just a train, but an historic and artistic link.
It is a representation of the Art Deco, Art Moderne styling that was prevalent in the 1930s.
As the final pieces are slid into place, as surfaces are polished, the Zephyr of old emerges. In October of 1997, the Zephyr, newly polished and shining, is pulled from its cocoon. The scene is recreated, and again the media is on hand to capture this historic moment. This time, the Zephyr heads back to the museum on the backs of trucks wrapped in plastic, but still, traffic clogs and heads turn as she passes. 3 long years of intricate work brings us to this moment.
All right, Gary, let's go. Let's do it.
Hundreds watch from packed bleachers. The Zephyr is gently moved over the hole. Any shift in the wind any malfunction of the massive crane, and it could mean disaster. This train has traveled many miles, but it's these final feet that are perhaps the most tense. Finally, only inches are left.
Okay, hold that and I'll check your center on your wheels.
This has been a long time coming, and just seeing that train hit the, not hit, but gently touch the trucks. Yeah, hit's not a good word. Was thrilling, and seeing it down here in the garage, it's the culmination of a hell of a lot of work over the last couple of years.
A lot of work.
Yes, relief. It's sitting on the ground. I'm all right.
Once again, and forever, the Zephyr is home.